Greetings and welcome to OroCommerce's video tutorial series. This is Rhonda with Oro Inc. and today I'll be demonstrating how to create segments in OroCommerce. OroCommerce allows users to create segments, which helps you split customer or sales records into groups with similar attributes for marketing, reporting, or promotional purposes. For example, you may need to work with data from users who have closed out an order in the last 60 days, or define a segment for customers who purchase a particular product. This way, you can create a marketing list and send an email with special offers enticing them back to your store with discounts and promotions. Segmentation allows you to target specific groups of customers with unique marketing materials in order to drive more customers to your store. In this demonstration, we'll show you how to create and configure a segment to list orders which have been created in the last 30 days, that are closed, and whose order totals were over $5,000. To create a segment, navigate to the Reports and Segments menu option and use the drop-down to select Manage Segments. To create a segment, click the Create Segment button in the top right-hand corner of the screen. A blank segment form displays. Enter a name for your segment. This is the name used to refer to the segment throughout the system. For our example, I'll call this 30 Days Over $5,000. Enter a description for the segment. If this segment is being created for a specific marketing purpose, this would be a good place to include those details. In the Entity field, use the drop-down to select an entity. Only records from the chosen entity are used and displayed for the segment. For our demonstration, we're going to use fields and information from the order entity. Use the drop-down, and you can begin by typing letters to narrow down your search. Choose a segment type. Available options are dynamic or manual. The dynamic setting updates automatically when changes take place in the system. Manual setting updates will only happen when the user manually refreshes the segment. For our example, we'll choose dynamic. Specify a record limit if necessary. If specified, the segment returns only up to the amount of records configured here. We want to request all the records in the last 30 days, so we'll leave this blank. The owner, by default, is populated with the business unit of owners who can manage the segment. This is subject to the user's roles and responsibilities. You can also change this value if necessary. Click on the Designer link to design your segment. Once an entity is selected, fields for that entity are loaded into the Column Chooser section of the Designer. This is where you can define columns of data for your segmented list. You can use this drop-down column to select records from the specific entity. No other fields will be available except for fields for the entity. This is because this segment will be used as a filter for another report or marketing list, which will contain all the fields necessary for dynamic marketing content. For each column of information you would like displayed on a grid in your segment, choose a field from the drop-down and click the Add button. For our example, we'll add the user's contact information, the order ID, the internal status, and the order amount. Click on Contact Information and click the Add button. Now we'll use the drop-down to add our other fields. You can use the double-sided arrows to drag and drop the columns into the desired order. When you've finished adding columns of data for your segment, you can use the Filters section of the Designer to further narrow down the results of your segment. The Activity filter specifies a rule for any activities assigned to the record. You can target activities such as calls, tasks, emails, notes, calendar events, or all. You can select activities that have either been created or updated at a particular date and time. The Data Audit filter specifies a rule for record changes recorded in the system. You can select the Data Audit option and use the drop-down to audit changes to one of the entity fields, or view how field data has changed between certain dates and times. Use the Field condition to specify particular fields with matching values. The Conditions group is a set of either activity, data audit, or field conditions filtered and joined with and or operators. And finally, The Apply Segment button allows you to apply a previously created segment in the new segment. You can then use the filter to further narrow down items in that segment. As I previously mentioned, we'll demonstrate how to create and configure a segment to list orders which have been created in the last 30 days, that are closed, and whose order total was over $5,000. Drag the field condition over to the design box. To select a field, click on Choose a Field. A drop-down displays showing you all the fields available from the order entity. For our first example, we'll select the Created At field. Our example is to show customers who have created an order within the last 30 days. For this, we can use a variable. Click in the Choose the Date field. When the calendar displays, click on the Variables tab. Select Today. For our variable, we'll use today minus 30. This means that we're requesting all orders that have been created in the last 30 days. Drag another field condition over to the design box. We want to list all orders which have been created in the last 30 days and that are also closed. Click in the Choose a Field link and select Internal Status. Click on Choose Values to choose a status. For our example, we're going to select Closed. Drag another field condition over to the design box. For our final condition, we want to evaluate the order total, so click to choose a field and use the drop-down to select Total. We want the total to be over $5,000, so click on the equal sign to choose a different operator. For our example, we'll select Greater Than, and in the field, we'll type $5,000. Using these filters, we're now requesting a list of all customers who have purchased within the last 30 days, with an internal status on their order which is closed, and who have purchased over $5,000. When you're finished, click the Save and Close button in the top right-hand corner of the screen. You'll be automatically redirected to the segmented data list. Thanks for watching. For more video tutorials, please check out our website at www.orocommerce.com/media-library and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with the latest tutorials and webinars.